The train headed for Sunset City will be departing soon.
Hello there, everyone. Welcome back to Sunset City, a Sonic podcast for the modern, freaking, the classic and the modern age. God damn it!
All right. Era. No.
Anyway, okay, so I have this poor man that I just let down with my horrible introduction skills, Nick. And of course, I've got our wonderful and horrible at the same time canine hound person pup.
Wow, pup.
Do we have pup? Do we have pup?
Maybe
we
don't
have
died.
pup. Someone. I think
No,
someone.
I'm here.
There's that
for some
canine
reason,
pal of mine.
my microphone didn't pick up me going. So yeah,
Jesus Christ.
that fungled that one then, didn't it?
Oh,
That's where the next time I'm opening one of these shows, I gotta practice first. Also, we have our feline and bodacious friend here, Cirrus.
Hi, how are you doing? I'm the only sensible one here, I think.
Okay, all right, buddy.
Okay, crazy tits, whatever.
Look,
I'm
Sonic 06 is fine, okay? I'm kidding.
I agree.
And I'm Wayne. I hate everything.
That's another
That's
YouTuber. You can't be that.
Oh, god damn it. Anyway, all right, yeah. So preparation next time. Before I decide off the cuff, literally seconds before we start one of these, that I want to introduce us all.
Don't
How are you
even
guys
worry
doing?
About it. We're a
Hey,
nightmare
audience.
world today. Should show you
Between
what we
you
have to
and
talk
me.
about.
Between you and me, guys, he had time to prepare.
I
Y'all
didn't
did.
even.
had-
none of us
Yeah.
did.
He had okay, look, he's like Batman. He had 30 seconds of prep and he still scuffed it. I'm kidding.
I mean, the Wayne. It's not a coincidence. There's no such thing as a coincidence.
Oh Jesus.
Shut up, shit ass.
Hey,
Guys, aren't you excited? We have old Sonic games to talk about for the news today.
I'm so happy. Did you hear? Team Sonic Racing's on its 30th anniversary.
So let's just kick that off because Dave Luddy of Badnik Mechanic fame just posted this morning. I guess evening for you, pup. Someone dropped that we're getting a Sonic 30th anniversary version of Team Sonic Racing. And
What's in it?
yeah,
then?
all the
Like,
jokes right there.
What makes this 30th anniversary edition?
Some
I
marketing
think it's-
person's real dumb.
No,
Classic
they're...
Sonic is in it.
Can you imagine? Oh my god, that would be
That wouldn't be
fantastic
too
though.
bad.
Like legit, like they did put
Wait,
in the
no,
video.
he is. He is because on the iPhone version they've got Classic Sonic in it.
Oh, there
Okay.
you
oh, you're
go.
right.
That's-
Yeah, didn't they? Aren't they doing like the whole like classic stages thing?
Yeah. So what if they're
Hey, Gilly,
doing that
what's up,
on the?
dude?
Hey Gilly, what if they're doing that on the new release? Maybe adding the Classic Sonic stuff.
I don't think they're going to go that hard for it. Unfortunately, it looks like all it is just like an art book that's being in there
Okay,
as well.
mean,
and I
it's
wish
their
they would
selling
though.
stuff.
Yeah, I mean they're just kind of selling us more kitsch. But yeah, the Apple version of Sonic Racing has that whole setup there. And I did like a long time ago. It was like top 5 things I want for Team Sonic Racing, which was just all the crap I knew I wasn't going to get. Like Sonic in his classic Game Gear car was one of them. That would be a fantastic little extra. I would literally buy that game again just for that.
And this is why we keep
All
getting
right, well,
bad
thank
Sonic
you
shit.
all for coming.
I'm
Yeah,
kidding.
thank you for
Why-
watching. That's
what was
today's
the-
episode.
What was the name of those racing games back on the Game Gear? again?
Sonic Drift.
Sonic Drift.
Sonic Drift. Yeah. Can we just get re-releases of those?
They could just
Yeah.
smack them in there.
You know what
honestly.
You know what I never
If
understood?
they had like a virtual console kind of thing.
I don't understand why we never got Sonic Drift on the DS, considering the format of that game. That game looks like that game looks like a dual screen game when it's playing in its original mode. It looks like something we could have just put on the DS like that.
Especially when they were doing like the 3D classics thing, like we were talking about last time when they did with like Sonic 1 and 2.
Mhm.
Like why not just do that for Drift?
Not even Drift. Just the Sega All Stars Racing stuff. That is a little weird. I mean, we literally only have one bit of PS4 box art to go off of here so far. Yeah, I mean that kind of sucks. We already have Team Sonic Racing on the PS4.
Right.
I guess it's just like an easy re-release, but I mean, it'd be kind of cool to finally get like PS4, PS5 versions of original, well, not TSR, Sega All Stars and everything, because I like those games better than Team Sonic Racing. I think it's a solid game, but like it doesn't really do anything new when you consider the two games that come before it.
I
I'm
think
just,
yeah.
Sorry, go on, shit ass.
Who are you referring to? I don't know who that is.
He's not gonna let
Wait.
that stick, dude. He's just not gonna let that happen.
It's not gonna stick
That's
as
gonna
bully
well.
behavior, man.
Let-
Refuse
gonna
for
do it
my
every
nickname to
day
be
until he likes
shit
it.
ass.
I'm just gonna say this right now. It's never going to stick as well as an egg.
Yeah.
Just go on. Just go on.
Anyway, yeah, that's the thing. Was like I feel like Team Sonic Racing Transformed was probably the best Sonic Racing has been.
Agree.
And so it's like, I don't think Team Sonic Racing was bad. I really don't. It does feel like maybe a step backwards, but it's still a good game.
I feel like the team gameplay made up for it. Like they had something in the place of the transforming vehicles, but I don't think that Team Sonic Racing is supposed to be compared to like the Sega All Stars one, because like obviously it's going to have a smaller selection of tracks and a smaller selection of characters. I mean, I'll say this: I think there is more they could have, I guess, made of it, because like the fact that they recycled tracks from the first game and the second game kind of bugs me a little bit. I know it's only 2, but it is kind of like, come on.
I mean, that feels very
Also, I
much
do
like.
wish that these.
Oh, sorry,
Mario
go on.
Kart.
Yeah, I was about to say that's
I do
kind of
wish
what we
that
have with
these,
Mario Kart.
I do wish that these racing spin-offs would stop using the same tracks for every game. Like, okay, if they do another Sonic Racing game, Ishnay on the Seaside Hill now. We got enough Seaside Hill. I'm looking at the box art now, and in some ways I think it's an improvement, because like on the original box at this, like they have the Sonic and crew like racing and stuff, but then they have this really cheesy like faded graphic of the 3 of their faces smiling in the background.
Oh, I've
Like,
always hated it, dude. Oh my
they've-
god, it is
they've
such a
ditched
bad
that
piece
on
of
the-
box art.
They've ditched that on the new cover at least. Like it's a bit better now.
I'll go take
It's
a
so
look.
silly.
Like
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
I'm gonna be actually. If you want to throw the picture of it into the call, I can like throw it up for people to see in the show too.
It's not very high res, but there it is.
Okay, I can do that. Do.
So, I mean, I'm well away from reviewing that game, but I'd say that it is a competent game, but it does lose a lot of its unique charm. I mean, the extra Sega characters and all that. I loved how just weird and wild those games could be. Now, like it really made it feel inventive, but like I don't know, man. Like felt like they did with the Sonic Racing what they've done with the entirety of the Sonic franchise, which is just era I call it Mario era, where they're just trying to make these like the default, super easy to understand, very basic ass versions of these characters.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, they got rid of that garbage in the background. Now it's just a blank space now.
Yep.
God,
it's
Yeah,
just-
it looks kind
Yeah,
of
but I was
empty.
just thought it was so cheesy. It's like it reminds me of it reminds me of like those family portraits where it's like, you know, they're just a little in the
Will
front and then they've got
Ferrell
like a faded face in it, like
Yeah.
that fucking Metroid box that
You know what they need?
made
Yeah.
You know what they need in this though? That blank space is begging for like a return of the Sonic 2 Robotnik, like hanging out in the background, like holding on to the fucking box art. Like that blank space is
you could have,
begging
like,
for something
laughing
like
in the
that.
background or something like.
Yeah, because like that's because I mean, like it would at least fill in that space, and it would be a return to that kind of style of thing. I mean, it's obviously it's just box art, though. It's not the most important thing in the world, but still, it's empty as shit.
And that goes for the game itself, though.
I mean,
I do feel like we are in like a day and age though where Sega are really trying to pass Team Sonic Racing off as like the latest Sonic game, and it's
I
a
mean,
spin-off. Like
they are.
I
Oh,
mean-
sorry. They're trying to build pillars, you know? At least that's what it made sense to me like 2 years ago. Now, who even fucking knows anymore? But I thought it made sense. Like, we have modern Sonic games, we have classic Sonic games, and we have the racing games.
yeah, and I
Like
don't mind
that made
but
sense
I
to me.
feel-
But like anymore, like who the fuck knows?
feel like Sega are really kind of leaning on like Team Sonic Racing. I feel like they're like Sonic Mania, Sonic Forces, and Team Sonic Racing are like the latest gen Sonic trilogy in a way. And it's like, is it though? Oh, we're getting super chats though.
Yeah,
And
SR
Sonny
is the
said,
best one because it has playable Zavik. Thanks, Sonny.
why Zavik
Oh.
matters?
seriously though, like we could have
Kinda getting into that
Infinite
with
in a little
speed
racer
reading.
or something. Like that would have been so much better as an Infinite racer. Fucking
Oh,
Zavik.
Would you buy Team Sonic Racing if they added Team Freedom Fighters? 100%. I will bitch and moan about Sonic Colors all day long, but you throw in a couple of obscure fucking comic book characters, I'm in.
Thank you,
Devin for
Devin
the
McCann.
$4.99.
Dude, just give me like a Sonic racing game that's got like the physics of CTR, and I'm happy.
So I'm just gonna say this right now, Nick. Here's what's gonna happen. You're gonna get your Sonic Racer that has the Freedom Fighters in it. However, we're gonna do the
Mhm.
Monkey's Paw Curl. You get Rotor and Antoine, and that's it.
Start.
Like,
Isn't playing a fucking walrus. Not coyote. We don't know what the fuck this dude is.
actually, wait, was Antoine a coyote? I don't remember what his actual
Some-
species was.
Some interpretations he is, but like the original Sat AM version has a short tail, so nobody actually knows.
You know what? I'm gonna be honest. Not once have I ever actually considered what animal Antoine was supposed to be.
He's just
Trey.
French
I-
Raphael, basically.
As,
Thank
as a kid, I thought his species was just piece of shit.
To be fair, Trey
My
just
God.
Trey
Fine.
just dropped 4-9. God damn it, Bob.
My simp pucks, thank you, Trey.
We'll take the simp bucks.
We're
I miss you, Trey.
There is
God.
yeah, we preferred life when you were in our jar. But there is one when I think about like I'm just gonna say this real quick since we were talking about the Freedom Fighter things. The only thing that ever sticks out to me about Antoine from Sat AM specifically, not from in the comics, is that one moment where like a gang of wolves were trying to eat him and he was being boiled alive, and the one thing on his mind was they were using black pepper instead of paprika, and that's the thing that pissed him off, not the fact that he was about to die.
And,
good characterization, man.
yeah,
Like, that's the thing that stuck out to me the most about his character, was like he's so fucking stuck up that the idea of somebody just using substandard ingredients when boiling him alive is his main concern.
I mean that it's per his right. If you're gonna get cooked and eaten, like at least do it right.
For God's sakes. So yeah,
Shall we
Team
talk,
Sonic Racing.
Shall we talk about the recent Dreams Come True cover of Green Hill Zone with lyrics that was promised at the Sonic Symphony?
Yeah, I gotta admit, I'm not always a big fan of and lyrics on music that never had the intention of having or lyrics on top of it. It's not the case for everybody. Obviously, there's some really good stuff, but just over the years, I've seen some covers that I don't know, like how do I best describe it? You can just tell like these lyrics were not meant to go with this music, but now that we have the original guy who did Green Hill actually making a song out of it, I don't know if it's just because it's the original guy who did it or not, but it sounds really pleasant. It sounds really good.
I think the reality is these were probably always intended to be kind of lyrical in a way, because like the original Green Hill was very similar to a song they did called Marry Me, which had lyrics. So I get the sense that like they kind of had those kind of inclinations while writing the songs for Sonic 1. So naturally it probably lends itself quite well to doing that. What I found very exciting about this though is like it's the first time that Masato Nakamura has visited that track again. And And so what we're getting here is probably the closest thing to how it was probably always intended to sound, which is really exciting for me. But I think it's great. I think it sounds really nice. It's got that kind of romantic feel that comes with like the Dreams Come True songs and stuff. But like, yeah, no, I really like it. What about the rest of you?
I'm gonna be honest, I haven't listened
No,
to
it's
it yet.
I am in
in
the same
Hammond,
camp,
it's-
unfortunately.
In Hammond, it's not Marry Me. It's a new one that was promoted, the Sonic Symphony event, and it's I believe the English name of it is called On the Green Hills, but it's got some other crazy Japanese name that I can't remember.
It's up and out there. You can find it.
So Frost the White Lion sends $2.99. Team Season 3, I work on Sat AM. Looks good so far. I've heard about this. I haven't seen anything from it, but like, yeah, it sounds like they're putting the work in.
Yeah, that's a Sonic fan base for you. Melody of Green Hill makes way more sense with the lyrics. Yeah, I agree with you, Trey. Like as a kid, I always thought it sounded a little weird, like very catchy and iconic, but yeah, I'd say just the weird little noises they make on there is no, it works. For fuck's sake, get it together.
I'm just
yearning, okay? Let me yearn.
but your yearning literally makes me want to just like
Confuses me. I feel like there's like an audio hiccup somewhere.
So I've got this little 3D printed model of Channel Pup that I still need to paint, and one day I will find the time
It in
to.
his jar.
But
He's
no,
put it in the
it's
cum
no,
jar.
it's not going in any jar. I'm so tempted to just snap it in half right now.
Hey! Don't
I can-
So
snap
we
me.
I can print
Yeah,
out another
that's a cute
one.
No!
That's
Can you
the
send
two
me
little
one to
bits of
snap in
news.
half?
Oh my god.
Fuck off, shit ass.
You can make his like just what's the word I'm looking for? I almost called it a ventriloquist. It's not the word. Voodoo doll. There we go.
Voodoo
Am
doll.
I culturally insensitive? I don't know.
I'll just Pup, can you feel when I tickle your ear?
My God.
Oh, yes, I can actually. Oh, God, I just prolapsed.
Okay. So, anyway, any
those
other?
were the first little bits of Sonic news there. There's not a lot for us to really pick apart, but like
No.
obviously we could still do it anyway. But just to get us back on track, I think the biggest bit of news we have so far is that latest trailer for Sonic Colors. And I gotta be honest, at this point, I can't wait for September to get here just so we can just get fucking done with this.
I'm gonna be honest. I feel like there's almost nothing. I feel like there's almost nothing to talk about where Colors is concerned, like when the game comes out. Because if you've looked at at friggin' the Sonic channel, they keep on posting full playthroughs of practically every level in the game, and like, I don't think there's gonna be anything to be surprised about when we pick it up aside from the Metal Sonic thing.
Well,
Yeah.
I think we should start breaking down the trailer and just share our opinions on there. Before we do, though, Jamal, happy P Theory Day, everyone. Thanks, man. And Davidson Dolliver, Dreams Come True puts out some absolute bangers. I genuinely have never heard any of the music prior to that Green Hill thing that just dropped. I just thought we should give it attention since, like, when I saw it,
they did.
it was like 3,000 views, which is criminal.
There's a lyrical version of the Sonic 2 ending theme, and I believe that came shortly after Sonic 2. It's called Sweet Dream, and I'm not referring to that Akon sex song from Sonic 06. This was a prior version by them, and it's much more romantic, a little less kind of the song that you'd bump uglies to, but you know what I'm saying. You know
Did
how
we
it
get
is.
to the super chat from Frost the White Lion? Okay.
All right.
Yeah, we
want to have the trailer pulled up here because we can take it point by point because it is kind of a bullet point thing, like talking about the improvements they've made for this release of Colors.
Give me 2 seconds so I can actually like watch it real quick.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
surprises in this title are going to be pretty minimal. It's just going to be small little things. And Sega doesn't really, in marketing, leave much down to surprise. One thing that surprised
but
me
yeah,
was
we got some new stuff in it all the same though. Go for it. Sorry.
when they promoted the rival.
The fuck?
Cut
Sounded
out
like-
again, man.
Yeah, Mike. It sounded like your whole mic just kind of like died.
Just got unplugged almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so
No,
we've
it
got
was.
so
It
we've
was. I'm here.
Oh,
got
there you
okay,
are.
so 60 FPS is what they're telling us we've got.
Let's start. Let's take it bullet point by bullet point here.
Yeah, this
so
is the
what's
first bullet
one
point.
here?
This is the first bullet point.
No, but we're jumping to like
We're
rivals.
not-
We're jumping at all this and other. Let's
Yeah.
do it point by bullet point here.
Okay.
Okay, where are we going to be seeing this?
Go ahead, sir. I'm sorry. I was just letting you go.
I was fucking like, we're gonna do it bullet point by bullet point. Okay, cool. The first bullet point is the exact one I just said. Anyway,
Just talking about pup and everything else we were talking about before you started fucking talking. That's what I was getting at.
fair enough.
my God.
Here, I'm literally just gonna screenshot these and drop them into the chat for everybody as they pop up.
Thinking.
So the very first bullet point they have here is that we've got HD visual improvements, 60 FPS. I wonder if that's going to be a locked 60 FPS. It shouldn't be too hard to do that with the age of colors.
What we're seeing in there.
Like, it's a 10-year-old Wii game. They should be able to have locked 60 at this point. But revamped lighting, we've already known about that. Improved graphics, and I think the 4K resolution part is new. I don't think that they've told us it's going to be in 4K until this trailer.
That's very cool. I'm happy with that. That's neat. I can't wait to play this on my PS5.
So that's
Yeah.
You want to show some of the side-by-side images?
Yeah, if you want to do that. Trey brings up a good point here, and I didn't know if there's going to be like a debatable thing or not. No, but he had said like I feel the comparisons between the original Wii version and updated ones are very exaggerated. The Wii version never looked that crusty. Trey, I don't think I quite agree with you there. Like the original vision of the game, like if you came with everything that was in the box for Wii, it looks like 480 resolution to me.
I think what it comes down to is that if you play Sonic Colors, like the first time I played Sonic Colors, I played it on a CRT because I could never afford a flat screen TV until I owned a Wii U, and by then I wasn't. Yes.
You okay?
Did Cirrus drop out this time?
Well, I was saying a thing that I thought I heard like Nick say something.
Oh, okay.
I was saying, like, for me, the very first time that I played Colors was on a CRT, and I'd never experienced it on anything other than a CRT until years later. And at most, the only things that I saw was like a really poor aliasing. It never looked as blurry as it shows in like the videos that they show here. Like, it doesn't look that blurry to me when I play it on original hardware. But I do think
I mean, to be fair, is like if you put any YouTube video down to like 480p, which is what Sonic Colors was, it does look like that on the left. I think our eyes are kind of accustomed now to HD that like putting this side by side, we're like, is it really that rough?
there's a
Part of it comes
there,
down
though.
to.
Because like when you
I was gonna say, I
sorry.
think part of it comes down to how YouTube processes it as well. I'm not sure, but like
YouTube has compression. So like when you drop something down to 480p on YouTube, YouTube's compression tends to just completely annihilate it. Like this is the thing that ages ago, back when people used to like rip things from Newgrounds and port it over to YouTube, people have been complaining about for years. YouTube's compression just completely screwing with non-HD visuals. But as soon as you start putting something
I was going to kind of mention is that what we're seeing on the right here is an awful lot crustier than how that's going to look as well. So I think like proportionately, it's not like an inaccuracy. Like it's just the video is quite compressed and quite well YouTubeified basically, because you can see like the one on the right, that's still full 1080p.
Yeah.
But even that's a little crusty, just because YouTube is a piece of shit. I'm just fucking with you, but you know what I'm saying. You know how it is.
Yeah, so I do agree that like in general a lot of the comparisons are a little overblown, but at the same time it from what we're seeing, it is going to just flat out look a lot better. About the only thing that I see in this version that I can really complain about anymore with the new footage is we still have those fucking PNG wisps. Like, those things still look garbage.
Yeah, they don't look good. I'll, I guess I'll say this: we've been so back and forth just as a community, just how we look at this colors port, and I think that alone has been a problem for me because like, oh, it looks amazing. Oh, it looks like complete dog shit. Oh, it looks amazing again. I am just tired at this point.
Well, because like none of that discourse even ends up mattering until the game comes out and we can actually see.
It does though, because like we still have to review the stuff that they're showing us here, and like I wonder if it is just the compression. I wonder if it's just like my stream quality. But like not seeing like any crisp footage yet. Like, is that just from the bloom, or is that just?
No, everything we've had has been kind of compressed looking and a bit shitty. So
Yeah,
like,
so I might have to wait till the final product there. Like, because the two screenshots we're seeing right now, it certainly doesn't look as dark as like that one notorious screenshot we saw.
Yeah.
this is the thing is like I kind of maintain a wait and see attitude.
I think
But
we
like
have to at this point.
I'm optimistic about it, but I maintain a wait and see attitude because even in that trailer, like Premi de Remy did a video on this where he basically kind of said that there's also old footage in there as well because there are some brief shots side by side where it does appear that Tropical Resort is still quite dark and gloomy looking. And yeah, it does look like some shots are also more bloomified than others in there. So I think we're getting a mix of new and old footage. But I think everything on like side by side is probably quite fresh.
I just don't
I
understand
think,
why they would still be showing old footage at this point if they've got a more current build. Like,
2 more months left to go. Like this has to wrap up like soon. You know, if it's not gold yet.
I was wondering if I should bring this up because I don't want to be too redundant. I feel like it's a point that I've made before more than once. But just because this is not the only like remaster that we're getting soon for a 10-year-old Wii game that has gotten a trailer within the past week showcasing the new like changes and improvements. God fucking it's nice to see that one of the two actually has a bit of thought put into it. Like whether or not we agree with the decisions and stuff like that, there's actually some level of they actually went into it. They started looking at some of the things. They were just like, okay, let's remix some of the music. Let's try out this interesting mode where it's like, oh, you collect 100 rings now. Since we got rid of the life system, let's give you a temporary invincibility and boost your score at the end of the... it's actual forethought. It's actual, like, an attempt to do something new with the content. And then there's fucking Skyward Sword HD, which is another $20 on top of that, and it looks exactly the goddamn same as it did 10 years ago on the Wii.
yeah, I'm not.
Again, I'm sorry for bringing it up one more time. It's very redundant, but it's just on my brain right now because it's coming out in less than a week, and they did a similar thing this week where they were showing, oh, here's some of the quality of life improvements. They're all super simple. It's like you change a couple of lines of code and here's this thing. It's not like, oh, here's a whole new rival mode where you can unlock new things. Here's like new cosmetics and stuff like that. It's just like Nintendo doing the bare ass minimum to shell out another $60 game.
We really could do a whole other conversation about Nintendo right now because between like new management and COVID, every one of their releases this past year or so has been very. Here you go, I guess. Just that OLED model alone, my god, dude.
Yeah. Again, I'm sorry. I keep bringing it back to like the stupid Zelda pre-release.
It's okay though,
but
because
like, what else do we have to talk about?
Like, it's not.
We have two
it's
Wii
relevant.
games coming out for fall releases 2021,
and it's not even an invalid comparison here either, because like, yeah, there's stuff in this version of colors that just it looks gimpy, it doesn't look good, but so much of it is obviously improved. There has been love and care put into it. And then when you look at Skyward Sword, if these two things were not coming out so close to one another, maybe the comparison wouldn't be valid. But just like how Sonic Forces released very close to Mario Odyssey, And it was perfectly reasonable to be like, hey, Sega, maybe you should do something that looks and plays well and not this. Look at what Nintendo's doing. Now we've got the opposite where we can just be like, hey, Nintendo, maybe you should be putting some love and care into your franchise like Sega's doing.
I don't think it's fair to just be like, just because there's something worse out there, does that mean that Colors is free of criticism? Because
No.
I do think there's a lot for us to kind of go over here, because we do need to jump over to our next points here before we keep making more comparisons. But like, I think a lot of people, like, they're debating back and forth between like comparison stuff that we were seeing between the graphics of the original Wii and the Ultimate. I don't think the Ultimate point was like, okay, yes, obviously it does look better than the original Wii version. I think the problem was, why don't we just put this in a Dolphin emulator? You know, I think that was the original issue, was like, this looks crisp as shit. A Dolphin emulator. Sega, what are you doing to convince people that this is the superior way to go, you know? And I mean, I guess like with the graphics itself, like it is at this point, like Pup said, wait and see. Yeah, like I've not seen a single trailer. It all looks like crunched up footage there, and at this point, I have to think it's just from the trailers themselves. I imagine this has to look way better on a proper console. So I'm just gonna have to wait on that front there. But yeah, the PNGs look pretty garbage. Should we move on to the next point?
Yeah, I've actually got it pulled up right here. Our next point is about the new rival mode, Rival Rush. It's got our subtext.
Where you race Zavok.
I'll finally get my revenge, Hedgehog.
You gotta run off the metal virus.
Yes.
God damn, I have so much to talk about for Metal Virus game at the end of my speed reading stuff. But this is the mode I'm most excited about, and the one I feel like is gonna probably let me down. I'm worried. What I want it to be is a game, like the full game hard mode, where it's like it's you versus Metal Sonic, and the entire game is just that Sonic CD boss fight. Like that's what I imagine in my head. What we're probably gonna get is just unlockable stages that have a ghost mode where you just have to beat the level within a certain time.
It's just gonna be it's gonna be the fucking Lego stages. It's gonna be the Lego stages from.
That means.
Wait,
I have
you
no
never.
idea what that means.
Okay, so in Sonic Colors, the you can get Chaos Emeralds in the game, and one of the ways that you, if memory serves, one of the ways that you do that is you go into these levels that are they're literally made out of Legos. Like, I'm not even kidding. The levels are.
Oh yeah. I thought that was like the faux multiplayer mode or some shit like that.
It's that too.
What do you guys think?
Did anybody else notice the scream during the Metal Sonic bit?
I can't listen to the scream. The audience will hear the scream if I do.
There's a dude in the trailer that screams Metal Sonic, but it's like it's so echoey. It sounds like someone just got murdered in the background of the video.
Wait, is it?
It turns out that it's from one of Sega's official streams where a dude was playing Sonic the Fighters and he was raging at Metal Sonic, and they just decided to include that in their trailer. I find that really funny.
I want Capcom to do that with, like, it's Mega Man, the super fighting robot!
Oh my god.
Super fighting robots. Mega Man.
So I think Metal Sonic does look a little bit janky when you actually pause the video and take a look at how he looks. You can see that he's not quite reacting to the lighting in the way that he's supposed to.
Same with Sonic, though. That's concerning.
Yeah, that's the same thing that
render.
It's the same thing that the Sonic model's doing.
Not a deal breaker. With the Sonic thing, I kind of see it as more of a stylistic choice. They've made him bioluminescent because, hey, he's our shining hope. But, like, with Metal Sonic, he just looks a bit like, bro, you made of plastic?
Yeah, he really does look plasticky. I've actually got that.
He really does.
I've got that picture.
I wasn't even thinking plastic. I'm not even thinking plastic. So, you know, like, when you would go to like a pizza place or something, and they would have those little machines where you put it in a corner and you get a little bouncy ball.
Yes.
Yeah.
That material, the same material made. Those bouncy balls are made out of. That's
rubber.
what Metal Sonic is made out of.
He looks.
Yeah,
rubber.
that's straight up GameCube sheen on him is what that is, man.
Yeah,
for real.
It looks like porous rubber.
Like I know that I've seen some discourse on Twitter about this where people are like, hey, some people are going it's okay that this is because this is the Metal Sonic render from Forces. Some people are going it's okay that we've got the Forces render, and some people are like, no, it's not okay. I'm like, look, I don't care that it's a Forces render. I don't. They can use the same fucking renders for most of these characters interchangeably throughout games now, because really, how much more are you going to do to them at this point? What does concern me is that the post-processing on the render looks garbage. The render is fine. The post-processing on it looks shit.
And honestly, like, I like the model. I think that they capture Metal's design pretty well. I think he looks good. I just wish the lighting was better, and like his reflectiveness was a little different, I guess, if that makes sense.
The thing is also like
Up.
again, also like there's old and new footage mixed in this trailer, so we don't know how old this footage is. It could be that. But then again, Sonic is looking a bit better than he has in previous footage. Again, he still glows a lot, but I do think that's a stylistic choice more so than anything else. But Metal Sonic, that it looks like the model has just been dragged in there from something else, and I'm hoping that maybe that will be improved by the final release. And I know people say it's very close to the release date, but like, to be fair, we've seen some big improvements between previous trailers and this one.
And honestly, I'm sorry.
No, go on. I'm done.
No, I agree, because like I honestly feel like tweaking some lighting and rendering and stuff like that, for especially like the way light reflects off character models and that sort of thing. Listen, I understand, especially when you're putting in a promotional trailer for something like that, you want it to look as good as possible. But I also feel like that's one of those things that you can tweak closer to release date. It's one of those things you can just kind of get away with. It's not something that needs to be solid months and months before release, such as like getting the models down and like level structure and stuff. That's shit that you got to get the foundation on stat. Versus like a lighting thing, you can tweak that. That can be done in a fucking update, or a patch. So it's like it could look better by the time it releases. It's hard to say. Like the Switch OLED model trailer that they had this week, I remember they're showing off some footage of the Diamond and Pearl remix for Pokemon, and they already, like, if you've got a good enough eye for it, they've already improved some of the visuals for that. It's like just the closer it gets to release date, these things can be tweaked.
I wish they'd make Metal playable though. Like,
I actually think that's going to be the final reward. I honestly think that's going to be what you get for completing all of his challenges.
I hope so. I'm whatever with the lighting. Like, my major concern is I don't see him really interacting with Sonic outside of just also being there, which makes me concerned that it's just a ghost mode, you know?
Yeah, and if it's
I think it is just a ghost mode.
That's what I think too, because everything in the trailer is just showing him like trying to run faster than you. This is basically Sonic Colors, but every level is a Tails level from Adventure 1.
Yeah, I think that's all we can expect as well. Like, I would love it if you could interact with Mel. I'd love it if you could like jump on him and fuck him, and he could fuck you. But like,
wait.
Let's get through the point, for fuck's sake.
My brain broke.
But yeah, no, I think you're right. I do think so. The Chow mix on here, Sonic's ultimate rival. Rubber Sonic, and everyone's just going Silicon Sonic, Plastic Sonic. Yeah, I'm always happy to see Metal Sonic. That's just a quick, easy way to make me happy, and I was just like that got my ears perked up. Like, we have a whole mode dedicated to Metal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just would like to see if there's like there's more to that than being a ghost mode. Like, is he gonna have his own means to either interact with the wisps or have like powers that can emulate the movement of the wisps? If he is truly a ghost mode, you know?
If he's truly a ghost mode, like most of the wisp powers, he can emulate just with his rockets. Like, he can emulate the rocket wisp, obviously, just using his turbine engine. He can emulate laser more than likely. Like, it wouldn't be hard for them to just make him a blue laser. Like most of that could probably be done really easy, but the problem is that all of that is just leaning towards how easy it is to implement him as a ghost mode.
Oh, you're throwing Sonic.
I gotta be honest. I would prefer if it wasn't just a ghost mode, but that's kind of all I was really expecting out of this. I was thinking basically like taking the concept of a Crash Bandicoot time trial and just reskinning it to give it a little more of that Sonic character, and just instead of doing a timer on the screen, it's actually Metal Sonic there. Which like again, I would prefer if there was something a little more dynamic to it than that, but I'm not super expecting that to happen. I do hope that the final reward, because it's saying like you unlock things by completing these challenges. I'm gonna be happy if the final reward is just you get to play as Metal.
Yeah, I do too. I think it. Yeah, I really think it is the speedrunning mode.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about the other updates there, but I think it is gonna. I guess what I want from it is just to be like, this is the mode for the people that played Sonic Colors already. You know, like here's where your actual challenge is gonna be, is dealing with this fucker, everything you unlock with him there. Yeah, I mean, we said all we can really say there. I'm excited it's here. I just hope it's some kind of substantial.
Same
Yeah, the
here.
next part was park tokens and customization. Head to the store and use park tokens to unlock unique boosts, auras, shoes, and gloves for Sonic. So they say there's a store here. Am I getting my hopes up and thinking there's like a hub? But
No,
probably
there's
Nah,
just-
it's gonna be
a
like menu
selectable-
screen, isn't it? Like,
Yeah, it's gonna.
Yeah.
Chow
I would
Garden.
love it if there was. I would love it if they had like a tropical resort hub world with a store.
Oh my
But
god,
I don't
that would be
see
amazing.
that happening. That would
wish
be
that-
okay. Yeah, if they did that, like they could fuck the graphics all they want. This would be my preferred version. But,
Yeah,
like,
I feel like well, I'm also kind of like that. I feel like the performance boost of having like a Sonic game just running at a steady 60 frames per second and everything. It's like, man, fuck the textures and lighting. I just want to go fast. Like I'm excited for that. I do wish, I feel like a theme park is the perfect. Wait 1 second. My friend Lenny Chu popping in. I just wanted to say hi. I see you. Thank you for stopping in. Sorry. Theme park, daycare, Chow Garden. I want that. We're not getting
fun
it.
fact.
I want it.
360 Overdrive says, yeah, don't use rings because that's money park tokens. And yeah, like Sonic Team recently said there's no currency in the Sonic universe. But in the Japanese dub of Sonic Colors, to go on the Ferris wheel, Dr. Eggman says it's like 500 yen. So it's like, which is it? And then
Well, no. Let me clarify that. There is, I guess, there's technically money, but this is more notes just given to Ian Flynn when he has to hand off scripts to Sega. They bluntly kind of said like there's no money. All they're basically saying is they don't want him to talk about money in the comic. That's really all it is.
So it's an Ian Flynn rule, okay. So I was
Uh,
about to say, because it's like that like Chows for Gold thing as well in like Team Sonic Racing. But anyway, aside from that, I'm going to say this. I think the customization is one of the things I'm most excited about for this, because I just love customizing shit. Like,
yeah.
See
do
some
wish-
elements of what people actually like from Sonic Forces showing up here.
Yeah. I do kind of wish that it affected more than just his gloves and like I want it. This is gonna sound stupid. I would have loved it if there were like full costumes. I would love
Yes.
a version of Sonic to run through in colors where he's got a sports jacket on and sunglasses or some shit. Like, I don't know, go crazy.
You wait.
Well,
so-
best
I mean,
thing
for
would
fuck's
be
sake,
like-
Sonic Forces, like the mobile games have costumes for him.
best thing would be like park merch. So you get like you can get like Sonic a Dr. Eggman t-shirt or something that
Yeah,
says
that'd
like
be
I
awesome.
heart Eggman.
Get a Dr. Eggman blazer.
Yeah, like, imagine all the egocentric Eggman merch that you could get from like Dr. Eggman's Interstellar Resort. Like,
He's
Or, like,
just
Keyblades. You get different shoes for different areas of the park.
Oh, that would be cool. Or
Well,
like
Tiki
but
he's
Mask
just
instead
for
we're just
Tropical
getting, like, different
Resort.
colors and different textures.
he's just carrying one of those like theme park big gulps in his hand the entire time.
That would be so cool if you just have him holding stuff.
I would
Like have
just,
him hold like a balloon. with like an Eggman face on it.
I would have liked if we did get customization stuff for this that went over and beyond just the gloves and the shoes. I would have liked to just like customize Sonic to be Scourge, just run through the levels as Scourge, just Scourge versus Metal
Wow.
Sonic.
That'll never happen. That's probably why, honestly. That's probably why we don't have multicolor Sonics. Were they multicolor in the original Colors release? Those robots?
Yeah, in the Sonic Simulator, you could make your own like color, and I think that will still be in there for this one. But like, he's got an antenna on his head, so it can't be Scourge.
They're gonna have to
You
be
can't
very
even
careful
play
with
as Sonic
that.
Now-
Sega literally cannot use Scourge at all.
I do want to say, at least from my perspective, when it comes to just like throwing out these ideas for like the little costumes and baubles and stuff that he can wear, that's more of just kind of like a playful, wouldn't it be neat? Not necessarily a heavy criticism. It's like
Get a Zavok shirt.
because I understand, and I honestly believe that maybe there was a time when that was on the table for this or something like that. But then you deal with, okay, are these going to carry over into cutscenes, as a lot of games with customizable bits do? Ratchet and Clank is one that came to mind.
They definitely won't. Like,
And
have you seen the cutscene pictures that Sega Japan posted?
are they pre-rendered?
No, they're AI upscaled versions of the original. So like,
So they are pre-rendered. They're just
they are
upscaled.
pre-rendered, yeah, but they're
Okay.
basically just AI.
Oh, okay,
upscaling.
see that's what I was wondering about. I was like, because which route do you go through? Do you carry over those costumes into the cutscenes, and then you have to deal with clipping? Again, even in Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, I love that game, but even I was noticing where like some of the like cosmetic additions to these character models did not translate well into certain movements during cutscenes because it was being rendered in real time. I get that's a thing that you run into, and that can get in the way of heavier customizable things, and especially a game where a character's got to move this fast, and he's got to be pretty nimble and stuff. So I totally understand why you can't go too crazy with that. Especially since this is a game that was not originally designed with those in mind.
Yeah, a lot of this is just
appreciate
little extra things for us, you know. What would make this? What would make this? I would shut up about every one of my criticisms first off, if you have all this customization and we just don't have a flat out Metal Sonic skin, like what are we doing here?
Yeah.
That's like all these
like a
unlockables.
Metal Sonic skin is like customary with like a Sega remaster. Like Sonic Adventure DX had Metal Sonic, and actually, come to think about it, I think that's the only remaster that had Metal Sonic. But still, you get
still
the point.
pleasant. Like it made me go through and get every fucking emblem. But what would make me I would cry laughing is if they replaced, if you got like a Metal Sonic skin and then they replaced all the cutscenes, instead of Roger Craig Smith, it's just silent Metal Sonic for every one of the fucking cutscenes.
You just have Metal Sonic trying to mime the BBB, the fucking BBBE cutscene from that game.
He was just standing, even if he wasn't doing that, just standing there and just not even, like, they would just keep talking like it, like, they didn't change nothing else except Metal Sonic's there and he just stands in Sonic's place, and that is literally it.
Tails is literally talking and responding to things that Metal Sonic isn't even saying.
Just like most fucking video game characters do, right? I mean, like Link or like Sonic, classic Sonic and Generations.
That would be fucking hilarious.
For them.
You want to talk like character model skins? I want just like the character model of Sonic in Colors Ultimate, but it's just swapped out with the fucking model for Sonic R.
Yes, the fucking low poly long spine model.
Be amazing.
I love low poly Sonic. Well, let's get this out of the way because I imagine I'm not the only one thinking it. Shadow skin.
Yeah, I'd love more skins like Sonic. I get that they're afraid of doing different playable characters because they don't want to impede the Sonic gameplay flow or what the fuck, I don't know. But like skins is the way to go. Like have us, not necessarily play in like a play style for these characters, but just have a skin, a Shadow skin, a Tails skin, a Zavok skin, like.
I mean, like they swapped out Sonic for Shadow in all of his spots and forces. Like that's just a very similar reward. I don't see why they couldn't do that.
And it's the same.
They're probably
it's
not
literally
going to
just
do
a
it because
reskin
Forces
too.
did it. Like,
Ice boost,
you know
floral
how
boost.
Sega is.
So I've
Well,
got
hang on, look at that. It says supersonic on. Ooh, hang on. Can you put that up in
already
the
got
thing
it.
here?
what?
I didn't see this before.
It's already up.
That's interesting. Okay, customize is separate from supersonic, but why is it?
I think that's
Why
a
is
toggle
supersonic
switch,
an option?
because
So
it's
just a
in an
toggle?
options menu. I think it's just a toggle switch.
I think what it is that it's just to let you see what those things are going to look like when you are supersonic, since supersonic is a thing you can unlock in colors. It is
So we can change the look of Supersonic.
yes, that's
Well, no,
what
no,
this,
I
no.
don't-
The
no, I
customize
don't
is
know about
separate from
that.
supersonic. I don't think so.
yeah.
I don't
so,
know about that because look, there's a customized screen and then there's a supersonic screen. Why would supersonic not be in the customized? Unless maybe your customizations to regular Sonic translate.
That's what I'm
the
thinking.
supersonic.
I'm thinking that so the customize button, you click that to change the actual items, but then you can click the supersonic to toggle the model that you're viewing the items on, and you can view it on the supersonic model. That's what I'm thinking that does.
Well, I'm thinking
Another
either
thing-
that or you get separate cosmetic unlockables for Supersonic that are like specifically catered to him.
I'm going to be real though, given that it's beneath my records and jam between extras and achievements, I think it's just the toggle switch. And that
so,
what we're
too.
looking at here is just an option screen. I mean, it even says option satellite.
Yeah.
Like, I think this is the customized screen within there. Supersonic is just a toggle switch. But one thing I do want to draw attention to, this little graphic of Sonic on the top right. Kind of seems odd that they would just clarify that we're playing as Sonic now, wouldn't they? Like, does that emblem change to something, maybe? Now, that's less realistic, but it is, I don't know. I want to look into that.
They could have some surprises in store. I don't want to hold them to that, but
No, yeah. Don't set yourself up for needless disappointment. But
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
If you want to see needless disappointment, though, there is so obviously, like, none of us are super happy that we're just getting the gloves and shoes as models, but like, come on, look at this. This looks so goofy.
It is kind of great though. I do
It's
like
it's like he's fucking Disney bounding the black suit Spider-Man.
Oh my god.
Like,
that.
Symbiote Sonic.
Oh man, that's the next arc. Ian Flynn, get working.
Sonic will follow
that's
Eggman to the
Metal
ends of
Heart's
the
about
earth.
closest.
I just want to point out that there are customizable boosts. Do you reckon they might include the boosting animation from like Unleashed in Generations, or do you reckon they're just kind of sticking with the?
So I think the customizable boost is either going to change the particle effects or let you change the aura color of the boost. So you can just be like, I'm boosting and it's green, or I'm boosting and it's rainbows. Like, I think that's probably what it's going to be.
Is that there will be a different animation set for the movie boost in the digital deluxe edition. So I don't know if I would rule out maybe they're including the Generations and Unleashed. I don't really care. I honestly prefer the colors boost effect, but like you know, maybe
Just give me that full rainbow boost.
maybe the one from Forces where it just looks really cartoony.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's just gonna be nice. It's cosmetics at the end of the day. I think we might be looking too much into it when it comes down to it.
Yeah,
I
at the
like
end of
it,
the
though.
day, it's neat that it's there.
Yeah.
So we do have another thing. Like, they've talked about the Jade Wisp that we're going to be getting. So what it actually does in here, I think, is kind of interesting. Apparently, according to this post here on the trailer, the Jade Ghost is literally going to allow us to no clip. Like, when we have this, we can just no clip around everything.
Oh man,
It
I was
looks
trying to figure out
And
how.
you can
what else they
effectively
were
like
gonna
web
do.
swing as well with it. Like,
well, yeah. There's little points you can use to like bound around everywhere. Is what it's showing.
it looks fun. I like it.
Pass through solid objects to reach hidden areas. I mean, yeah, they can't really do much to. With everything else we've seen in terms of like what we're adding to the game, like we knew they weren't going to do anything drastic in terms of level design.
Yeah.
When they're saying they're bringing a new wisps to it, like I really don't think it's going to be that substantial.
And
I really think it's going to be a matter of like Mighty and Ray being brought into the game, where it's like, yeah, you're useful here and there, but like nothing in these levels is designed specifically for you guys.
Yeah, and
Well,
this
we might
being
get some stuff here, but
this being so the way that this wisp is being implemented, they're literally grafting objects in the levels that you can web swing on, like kind of like web cling with. I don't want to say web swing because there's doesn't look like there's a lot of momentum here.
Web
But
swing.
but you're kind of like clinging to these Mario Galaxy-esque points, and they're just able to throw them into the levels willy-nilly because they're their own 3D objects. So it's just you being able to, instead of have something that the levels weren't designed around you having, this Wisp is literally designed around saying, fuck level design. I don't care about level design. Fucking walls? Nah, I'm a debugger. Fuck walls.
It's debug mode, but as a Wisp.
Yes.
yeah. That and a couple other things we're going to talk about today is further cementing that this is just baby Sonic game through and through.
Are you talking about Tails mode?
Not even just that, dude. Just the rings and everything here. We'll
I'm
get to
gonna
that.
say I don't think it's gonna make it that much easier. I think it's just gonna open up a new chance. Like, I mean, I think I get that people say Sonic Colors isn't really a hard game, but I think what some of the things that they're doing has eliminated some of the more bullshit kind of difficulty that it has. Like, because a lot of the difficulty in Sonic Colors did come down to bullshit. And easier doesn't necessarily mean bad either. Like Sonic 2, apart from Metropolis Zone, is easier than Sonic 1, and it's the better game for it. I'm still keeping an open mind to that personally, but we'll see. We'll see when it comes.
Well, we got, like I said, we have more to kind of go over here though. But let's I guess we'll have to wait and see with the Jade Wisp there in terms of whether or not they change the level design. That's what I'm concerned about. Like, is this just going to make it easier? Are we just going to be skipping through parts of levels, or are they genuinely in the effort
There'll be
to
a restriction on it. I think I even saw in the trailer there's like select walls that you can go through.
Yeah.
So like there'll be some kind of restriction.
We'll see there. We'll see.
We do have the next point in the trailer though.
The customizable controls.
Not a whole lot of
This is also confusing.
So
This is good.
It makes sense. It makes sense to me, especially since this is a game that's going to be on PC as well. Like, you want effectively the ability to just kind of keybind whatever you want, though Sonic Colors being the game you do that, a Sonic game in general being the game you do this on, is kind of weird considering that most Sonic games have kind of like a one-button control mentality.
Yeah.
So like
Something I was gonna say is like imagine the speed run potential from like Sonic Colors, but the jump button is mapped to like the R or something. Like
It would have
like
been.
I don't know how stupid you can get with it, but if you can get
Yeah.
really stupid with it, that'd be fun.
I mean,
One
it's
thing I would
like.
say though is if any game needed this, it's Sonic Unleashed, so you can put the homing attack back on the fucking jump button.
Oh, I was
Maybe
actually
that.
going to say, like, the adventure titles where it's like, oh, hey, now the Lightspeed Dash isn't tied to the same button as fucking jump.
Yeah.
True,
Fair point.
true.
Fair point.
it wasn't. Wait, no, it wasn't the jump button that it was tied to. It was tied to the fucking.
Wasn't being specific. He wasn't being specific.
But no, there's a specific thing that comes as a result of that I want to give everybody nightmares of real quick. I want to Lightspeed Dash. Oh no, I have bounce braceleted myself into death.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
that
The
do
best
be
Sonic
like that.
game. You're right, guys. Mhm.
It is the best.
Whoa,
Look,
okay,
your
let's
best
take
can
this
have
from
Sonic
an
with the
Adventure Time
barrel.
perspective.
The barrel that doesn't even telegraph what to do.
Man, fuck Chemical Plant.
Okay, Wayne. I think all of us hate you now. Every one of us.
Good job, shit ass.
Like, I'm gonna be honest though. Like, customizable controls here. I would hope that maybe, like, let's say that. Let me throw a hypothetical at you guys and see, because this sounds like something in line with what you were wanting, Nick. Here is a hypothetical that I want to throw at you for Sonic Colors. Let's say that Metal Sonic is unlockable and playable, right? And now let's say that in the Rival Rush mode that we're going to be getting, that if you have Metal Sonic unlocked, you can play as Metal Sonic racing against Sonic. Now let me add one more thing to this. Let's say that these characters can interact with one another. Like you can homing attack Metal Sonic to fuck him up, and he can do stuff to fuck you up. Having multiple buttons to do stuff would make sense because Metal Sonic in previous Sonic games has stuff like Black Shield he can use for combat. So having, again, this is it's a hypothetical based on like a smorgasbord of shit that we've gotten about this game. But if all of that can happen, then these customizable controls make sense, because there will at least be one playable character who could warrant swapping buttons around a little bit.
Yeah, but like if they were going to go that hard and change up that much of the game, I think that would be a selling point. I don't think that's the case here. These are all just little pleasantries we're adding to the game. I don't think Metal Sonic's going to be more than a ghost mode. Otherwise, we would have seen it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really think there's much for the customizable controls other than it's like I guess that's nice. And if you want it, there it is. You can jump with a different button if you feel like it.
I like how
like,
the footage. I was gonna say the footage they showed us for the customizable controls is just basic gameplay footage. Like we didn't see a fucking control menu or anything to get any information out of it.
Yeah. I do want to say, like, in terms of like Nick, like you were saying, if it was gonna be that big of a deal, it was probably gonna be a selling point. I unfortunately, I don't know if this is just gamer pessimism now. I feel like we're past the era of surprises in our mechanics. Loot boxes do not fucking count. You know, it's like if it's gonna be a big deal, it's gonna be right there. Mario Odyssey had like a fun thing here or there, but it's now because of the way games are made and how much money they cost to create, and like the wider audience that they have to appeal to because of how oversaturated the market is. You can't leave anything a secret. Everything has to be findable and stuff like that. It's not exclusive to Sonic. I'm not bashing the series for that. It's just something I've noticed recently.
Yeah, no, that's just how it is. Like if you're bringing the game back, you want to kind of sell everything you've done differently. That's literally the point of this trailer.
Yeah.
Like the next thing is the Tails save, which we've known about 1,000. We've talked about it 100,000 times. Don't have anything else to really say about it?
It's pretty much just them going, hey, this game feels like a Dimps Sonic game, and we wanted to give you a mechanic that made up for the fact that it was a Dimps Sonic game.
Yeah,
like,
I
we
tell you
removed the
what,
lives, but not really.
I've been playing Sonic Rush for the first time, and I would fucking kill for a tail save there. Like,
Yeah, I mean, full confession, I've not played Sonic Colors since it released back in the day. So, like, while I have been incredibly dismissive of this, like, I mean, Puppy, you have said plenty, like, no, there's some levels that get some real bullshit, bottomless
yeah,
pits,
like
which has been a problem
literally,
with 3D Sonic for me. So I'm interested to see how it goes.
The thing that really exemplifies it the most is Sonic Generations 3DS. That's a Dimps title.
Oh my
and
God, dude.
The level design plummets in quality once you get past the classics. Because
Yep.
in the classic ones, they literally just copy and pasted the classic layouts. Whereas after that, they're making their own layouts, and it plummets in quality. Like, plummets.
You know, it is kind of funny you guys bring up Dimps, because literally the only version of Sonic Colors I've actually played is the DS version.
Really?
I'm gonna play that soon.
I feel like I feel like I've mentioned this before, but yeah, the real reason that I'm super excited for this this re-release here is I have played Sonic Colors on the Wii, but I have not played through the entirety of Sonic Colors on the Wii, and so this will be like a new experience for me. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, let's talk about the next feature that we did not know about, but this was like the nail in the coffin for me in terms of like, okay, this is baby Sonic game. That's the 100 count ring. Collect 100 rings to gain temporary invincibility and boost your score after each level. So I mean, it gives you a reason to have rings.
Yeah,
right?
because like without the
it's gone.
lives, yeah, without the lives, there was no reason to. But like, there were other. So I understand that like this is a trying to bring Sonic in to people who might not have played it before. Because I mean that's kind of like what Colors does well. It can be baby's first Sonic game. That's a thing. Like you don't have to give a lot of caveats. You just hand them and just go, hey, just have fun with this game. But I'm gonna be honest. Sonic in previous titles has already had ring incentives that were not lives. Like in like special stages were ring incentives that were not lives. Freaking the
Yeah,
Chow
but-
Garden is a ring incentive that is not lives. Like, there's ways to do it that isn't. Let's just dumb down the difficulty of an already pretty easy game.
But
don't
I mean,
think
how
it,
much more do you have to do? I mean, you'd have to literally like add brand new mechanics, and like you'd have to spend a lot of money in that case because you're bringing Chow Gardens or special stages. Like that's wholly new elements
Oh, I know.
structurally.
So what I'm saying
I
is
mean-
I'm not necessarily saying that this is a bad thing for colors alone. For colors,
Mhm.
obviously, this is meant to be a very easy, cost-effective thing they can pump out to celebrate Sonic and bring people in. What I'm saying is, I don't want to see this become a standard for the series going forward. I
So,
don't.
I mean, to be fair
how-
though, it is just the return of the invincibility power up, isn't it? Like,
I mean,
I was curious. I wanted. Sorry. No, go ahead.
no. You go ahead, Wayne.
I was gonna say, I was curious to see what Pup felt about this because I feel like I might be alone here. I actually really like this idea, and I think it fits with the way that rings have worked in the world of Sonic perfectly. It's already something that gives him a protective barrier. Collecting 100 to give him a temporary invincibility boost, like again, like Pup, you were just saying, it's an upgrade that's existed in Sonic since the beginning. Like I don't know, it just kind of like I feel like it fits so organically, and it was sort of an aha moment for me when I saw that in the trailer. I was like, no wait, that makes perfect sense. Like why hasn't that already been a thing?
yeah, no, like, so my stance on this is it's going to be a cop out, but it's a wait and see stance in that it's like I don't think these things that everyone are saying is going to babyfy the game are necessarily going to have that much of an impact. It's going to be little gratuities here and there. And like I'm game to have a little, power up reward for collecting 100 rings. Like I think it's not something to make the game too easy so much as it is something to reward the player for reaching 100 rings, which is something that is kind of in line with Sonic's overall philosophy, is rewarding good gameplay. So like I maintain kind of a we'll see attitude. Like I think there are some things where it's like if they remove the difficulty, then yeah, like I think like if they made it so it's like yeah, no, badniks no longer attack you or some shit like that, then it would be a different matter entirely. Or we got rid of these platforming segments just to make it a straight run through. Like that is where I'd take homage. But like things like this 100 ring bonus and the Tails save, they don't bother me. I think Tails stating the obvious at times, a little bit of a different matter. But like aside from that, I don't really give a fuck, to be honest.
Love this, like one and only Danky, or you could use them for shop. Like, yeah, that's a good point.
I was gonna
too.
say like
Yeah.
instead of having a whole separate currency in the game, like because we have the tokens as a currency for the shop, just having ring collecting incentive be something you can get in there, because like that incentivizes grinding levels too, which is something that makes you get better at Sonic levels to begin with. Like
We already have the red rings to kind of explore the levels to a certain extent, right?
well, yeah, but like
That's not changing.
So red rings gives you a reason to figure out every nook and cranny of a level once. But once you've collected the red rings, you don't have a reason to do it again. Ring grinding, having like a cosmetic upgrade you can get via ring grinding, gives you a reason to revisit the levels until you've gotten the things that you want, period.
Red
I
rings
think they
also give you a
wanted-
reason to pick up a new Xbox 360.
I'm
Not wrong,
Fuck
not
up,
wrong.
yes. Something I was going to say though is in gameplay, collecting 100 rings give you a little celebration. Like gives you an extra life, and it has that little sound effect that makes you go woohoo! I collected 100 rings. I think this is kind of their way of saying in short terms, like, hey, you reached 100 rings, good job, buddy. Like, so I don't mind that.
Wouldn't it have made a
It
lot of
just really
sense?
feels like they're distilling down a very distilled Sonic game is my worry altogether, regardless of
I mean,
I think it-
alternatively, they could make it so that you collect 100 rings and you transform into Zavok for 10 seconds. That'd be a good reward.
So I actually think it kind of depends. Again, I'm not sure the way that these levels are laid out, how easy it is to rack up to 100 rings, and like how many lives you're able to get of that. So you're already giving yourself a safety net with rings to begin with. And then how frequent are the like the tail saves going to be, and how often can you collect those? And all the trailers and everything that I've seen, I've never ever seen like more than one or two at a time. So it's like if that's your checkpoint, if you handle this well, that slight invincibility might not change the difficulty. If anything, you actually might be able to add challenge to getting through a stage through that mechanic.
I'm also going to say this. Easier doesn't mean worse unless you're sapping out the substance of the game. For example, Sonic Forces is an easier game than previous Sonic games, but it's because they sapped out a lot of the substance of that game. Invincibility or not, tail save or not, you're still going to be navigating these levels. You're still going to be climbing around these platforming sections, whether or not you have that safety net. Like, the substance is all still there. Where I would take homage is if they were literally cutting out chunks of the platforming or cutting out obstacles altogether, because that's removing substance. So as long as it's not reductive, I don't mind them making little things to reward the player with slightly easier time. Like, again, easy doesn't mean bad, but like, I'm all for a challenge, but like, I'm just sticking with that logic.
So there is one thing. Yeah. There is one thing that they could have done with this, though, that would have been very in theme with the game. That I'm surprised they didn't do. 100 rings giving you a random wisp.
I mean, it would have to. I mean, a lot of the game is designed around wisps in certain sections, though, isn't it?
A lot.
Yeah,
of it
like
is...
they give you a wisp at a time when you're going to need it, basically. Yeah. I guess you could say it fills up your boost gauge. Like,
I mean,
that's the one bummer thing I have about the wisp is they really are set up to like a point where it is just for certain levels, certain level areas, which is fine.
They end up
like
just
when you
being
have such a plethora of different powers, it really would have worked better in a more 3D video game. You know, like if you could use them for combat or 3D traversal. I don't know. Like I'm getting like way into the weeds of like what I'd want to do in that environment and colors. I mean, ultimately, all of this stuff is just here to, I don't know, like they're showing, like, hey, you know, we're doing something with it. Whether or not it's a detriment to the game, like I have my concerns, but yeah, my issue is everything I'm seeing is fine. Again, it's fine for brand new players, but everything I'm seeing is we're taking this original game and we are just making it easier. Again, like the issue is like we're bringing back one of the easiest Sonic games and we're going to just make it even more for babies. And I don't think we're talking enough about that. Like a lot of people are, I don't know, like a lot of people get this expectation like we're gonna have this return of adventure, like this is what the fans are claiming for, and I worry that this release is a signaling that we're not going to be learning any of those lessons. I think a lot of the worst Sonic games are ones that critics have agreed are the worst Sonic games. I'm sorry, there is stuff to love about them.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I do my show. But
I still
I don't disagree with people when they're like these are cringy ass scripts or the stuff's a little bit too streamlined. Like I like to see more of Sonic's stupid friends. And I don't know, I guess I'm just a little worried that ultimately we know why this is happening. It's because COVID happened and we're trying to just keep this brand relevant while we work on the bigger project. I am just very concerned like we're just doubling down on that. If you're stuck in the Sonic bubble, it sounds like this is like the most hated part of Sonic's history, and sales clearly tell us otherwise. And I guess I'm just like worst case scenario. I'm worried like a couple years time we're going to be taking a toddler branded franchise very, very seriously. You know,
I think by that point we'll stop taking it so seriously.
Yeah.
Something I'm thinking though is quite surreal that we're here discussing Sonic Colors Ultimate, because I just think back and it's like, you know, they got their finger on the pulse of the fan base. They want to know what they want. The fan base, they're saying, we want a remaster, we want Sonic Adventure remastered. And Sega's like, okay, we listened, we're remastering that game you wanted, Sonic Colors.
I mean, it is kind of a surreal thing where you're just like, you're looking at that divide. And you're just like, okay, So if I were Sega and I could either please Sonic fans, or I could sell something that the Sonic fans are going to buy anyway, and can also bring new people in, let's go ahead and just do that one.
For
I
the first
get
time
it. Yeah,
around,
I
right?
think the business move is smart here, but it's got to be said, like an inconvenient truth what we're dealing with here. Because
Yep.
shall we just go around the table and just ask? Is it safe to say pretty much all of us would have preferred a Sonic Adventure remaster?
I have a lot of thoughts about an adventure remaster. It's my second favorite Sonic game. Um, but I think like it's to a point where we either need to discuss it in a separate podcast or I need to just make a video about it because there is so much to talk about in terms of that game, and I think that that alone tells you just how much of an effort it would take to really get that back out there into the world to represent the brand as a whole.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
it
don't
would
think
be
a-
a
I don't
big
think a-
job. It wouldn't be a COVID job.
I don't think a remaster is what Sonic Adventure needs. I think Sonic Adventure needs a remake. Like that game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I-
so I suppose it's not fair to like compare it to
Yeah,
an
'cause, like-
adventure
cause-
remake, I guess.
Because like I love Adventure and I love Adventure 2, but those are games that for the most part there's some kind of caveat you have to hand to somebody when you give them to them. Adventure it's Adventure 1 a little less so than Adventure 2, because with Adventure 2 I've actually handed that to a friend and they started with Eggman and then dropped it immediately because they were like, I thought I was going to be playing a Sonic game. Because then you could have played Hero and played as fucking Sonic, you absolute dumbass. Will, if you're listening.
Imbecile.
Anyway, but point is, those are games
Let's get
that
some of these super chats out of the way too when you're done. Sorry.
yeah, that's fine. But those are games that, as much as I love them, they're very of their time, and they're not of their time in the same way that Mario 64 is of its time. Because a lot of the core things in a game like Mario 64 still translate really well today, despite a little bit of jank. Sonic Adventure, there's a lot of stuff in that just doesn't translate as well today as it did back then. As much as I love it, I think that game needs a remake, not a remaster, if we're going to be reintegrating that.
I kind of disagree there, because I think, like, personally, I have a much more comfortable time playing Adventure 1 than I do 64. And I'm saying this with no kind of bias or anything. I only recently picked up Mario 64. But I think the thing with Sonic Adventure is it doesn't have the historical significance that Mario 64 has.
But I mean that's the same with Sonic 1 compared to Mario 1. But
I
the
would
thing with
still
Mario
say
64
that,
is
like,
like if they released it in that state without it being in a package, I think it would have gotten ripped apart a little bit more viciously. I think that price point is still bullshit because they are just relying on hard work of people years past, and they're just repackaging it for us. And again, this is going back into Nintendo's like very very mid-ass releases. I mean, I think Colors kind of is in its own different way. I still think Colors would have worked a little bit better in a package of the Boost games. But at the same time, like if we're bringing back Adventure, I don't think it would survive on its own. I think again, like Sir says, it needs they either need to completely redo the game, and would be a hefty expense, or do a couple of quality life improvements that's been desperately needed for every port. You package it with Sonic Adventure and Sonic Heroes. If you're feeling bold, Shadow the Hedgehog, and release it in its own package. You know, I mean, not its own package,
I
like
can
it's another clump of games. I think it's dated to the point where, it needs to be a celebration of the history of the franchise, as opposed to like flaunting it out there like, oh, this stands out on its own. Because unfortunately, in 2021, there's a lot that would deservedly get ripped apart for.
Yeah. No, that's understandable.
We do have a lot of super chats. Should we get through those?
I think we should too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see here real quick. I'm trying to see because Pup posted it for us. Sony posted a couple times. Colors DS is the best version. Well, there it is, guys. $279 in Canadian. That settles out all of it.
Hold on, there's more than that. There's more than that as well. There's also
My opinion.
a ways back. from Devin McCann saying, DLC idea, episode Diamond Cutters. I'd be enthusiastic to hear an elaboration on that idea, Mr. Devon.
I mean,
Sorry, you
if you
continue
take
with
Whisper
your...
the Wolf, I mean, you make a whole game. Like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, if you had all the Wisps in one set, it'd have to be a Whisper game.
Oh, yeah.
Because you have to remove Sonic's speed and you have to implement the Wisps on their own. That's how
is
you do it.
Diamond
could-
Cutters
oh
an
my God.
IDW thing?
You could, yeah, they're an IDW thing, but I just realized you could do that for making a potential Adventure 3 style game.
Oh, dude.
Use the IDW characters for the other gameplay styles.
I honestly, Tangle and Whisper is so good. They need to be in a game.
Yeah, that's why they're made. There's so much of the IDW books is like
A pitch.
we're gonna like it's game pitches basically. Like they are game fans, you know.
Yeah.
That's a very distinct difference from the Freedom Fighters in the past. As much as I miss them, I do appreciate how they're approaching the IDW characters.
Because like the Freedom
but yes.
Fighters don't feel like characters that you want to just drop into a video game, but when you look at Tangle and Whisper, they feel like video game characters.
We
they
like
feel like they were written around the mechanics of the universe.
Yeah, no, they're designed with like, yeah, they're like we're an animal with one weird quirky superpower. The Freedom Fighters, like I can't imagine anyone who's like with me, like, hey, I'd love to see them again. It'd be fine if they're in the background. Like make them be like the chatty characters, Tails and Knuckles back in the field for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Let's see. Sony also said, pretty sure ring is like 10 ring with an effect. That was something I kind of forgot to bring up while we were talking about the rings. If I remember correctly, Colors, and I don't know if Unleashed did this, you don't lose all of your rings when you get hit, right?
Most Sonic games, to be fair, do that, as far as I know.
What?
Don't let you lose all your rings.
No, most
You don't lose all of your rings when you get hit in Generations, Unleashed, Colors. I think even 06.
you lose all of them in 06.
I think it's just the boost stuff, isn't it? Unleashed going forward.
I don't know, but I'm just kind of very familiar with the concept of not losing every ring.
Well, I mean, I guess that's my problem with it. Is again, that's what I'm getting. Like, I remember that when I was first playing Colors, I'm like, oh, okay, I guess so. But let's get through the rest of these before we forget about them. AKA Shoden or Aka Shoden, or I don't know how you pronounce that. I apologize. Says 100 rings should grant you bee protection for a few seconds. Oh man.
Are the bees not doing enough by putting 100 rings out there?
Could you? I mean, if they're making the rings, how is that going to protect you from them?
Dude, Pup,
It's like-
you're the
It's
beef.
like lathering yourself with honey.
Every single time I go live doing one of my regular ass streams talking about real life issues, people still ask me about bee theory on my streams, Pup, and this is your fault.
What about Poohcam?
That comes
What?
up too. I have literally sent you screenshots of that.
Good.
Devin McCann sent us $5 saying 100 rings get you a piece of Nick and Sally art. Yeah. Drop myself on the fly. It'll be great.
My God.
Oh my god. Well, those are our super. I love our audience.
So on the note of remixed soundtrack, shall we talk about that?
Yes.
Yes, that's our next
Yes.
bit.
I don't like the Planet Wisp remix that we're hearing.
You
here.
don't like the Sonic Forces remix?
What?
Good
I
joke, guys. Come on, you said it was. A good...
I haven't heard the. I actually haven't heard the Planet Wisp remix.
It's in the
I
trailer,
like it's
dude.
in the trailer.
Oh yeah, well,
I
you mean the trailer that I'm pulling
love-
stuff from right now that I can't hear?
I love Tomoyo Utani's Sonic soundtracks, but I feel like lately he's become a little too obsessed with the buzzsaw synth, and I prefer when he does things a bit more contemporary. And this Planet Wisp remix he's done, buzzsaw synth is back again, and it's like the buzzsaw synth belongs in 2008. Like, can we just not do the buzzsaw synth for a little bit? But I like his Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs level music, and I like what I've heard of his Tropical Resort remixes as well. But I'm not vibing with this new version of fucking Planet shit. Fucking Planet Wisp. That's it.
Planet shit. I didn't realize we were doing a Conquer's Bad Fur Day remake.
The great and mighty Pooh.
Just feel this music makes me feel like, oh, if you're gonna play Sonic Colors, you better be taking something that makes you see colors. You know what I mean?
It also just reminds me of and I know this name's come up a lot in Sonic's history and in this live stream, but it reminds me of the Zavok remix from Sonic Forces, where it is like dubstep, and it's like, sorry, 2010 called. They want their music back.
Confession, I kind of actually dig that remix of his track pretty hard, and I think a lot of the soundtrack is pretty grating, but there are still some bangers in the Forces soundtrack, and I think that's one of the few times where they take that and utilize it pretty substantially, because I like that better than Zavok's original.
It sounds like
song.
Zavok got busy with a power drill to me, but like, I prefer the Lost World
Fantastic.
version. But like, it's okay. I would rather if I'm gonna listen to dubstep, I would rather listen to Sonic dubstep than any other dubstep. But frankly, dubstep can stay in the 2010s as far as I'm concerned. I hate it, but
I hated dubstep in its heyday, and like in the last 2 years, I've actually started to appreciate it.
he says, Otani clarified that him and Kenichi Tokoyo, I am so sorry, I don't know how to pronounce Japanese names, remixed the music that they worked on, and Tokoi did Planet Wisp. All right, well, Tokoi, fuck you. No,
Jesus Christ.
no, it's just it doesn't appease my musical winky. I don't know.
I really hope that they allow us to switch between the original and the remix soundtrack. A la, like,
Sega have said that there is a toggle.
Okay, cool. Just I couldn't remember if that was a thing that they had pointed out that we're going to be able to get before.
As long as it is,
it's
then
not
it's just more
something-
music, you know?
Yeah.
It's not something I take for granted anyway. I always thought like Sonic Colors had a great soundtrack, and it's like it's not something that's aged or dated or anything, but it's nice that they've offered us this B-side. But it's like what they did with like the Spyro Reignited, where it's like the dynamic soundtracks. But I gotta admit, I switched back to the originals because they were just heavier and harder than the new ones. That's Spyro for you.
I do think they drown out some of the melody in the remixes, which is a problem for me. But I mean, it's either here or there. I mean, as long as it's there, that's what matters. You think that some of the stuff we saw in the Sonic Symphony is gonna be showing up there?
I don't think
Yeah,
so.
I think because no, if you check the credits, it says that Reach for the Stars and Speak with Your Heart are recolored. So I think, and as well as that, if you look at the Rise of the Wisps trailer, you can hear the Sonic Symphony version of Reach for the Stars in there. So that's the new Reach for the Stars and the new Speak with Your Heart.
Let me ask you this: do we know if that animation, how that's being distributed, is that just going to be on Sonic the Hedgehog YouTube channel?
I think so.
Just put that in the game.
They said
Hey,
it's coming out summertime. It's literally the height of summer. When are we getting that? Like,
We're kind of in the middle of it right now.
yeah.
Let's see here.
So I'm sure it'll show up like August. I mean, it makes sense to drop it in August, like a month before. But I just slap it on the disc. Why the hell not?
Yeah, it'd be like what they did with the Night of the Werehog on Unleashed. Yeah.
I think it'd be fun.
I'm not seeing anything on
We're
an
talking a
actual...
lot about an old Sonic game for us.
I'm not seeing.
Funny is, yeah, you were like, I don't. What was funny is, like, yesterday I sent like the new trailer for Colors Ultimate, and you're like, yeah, we could talk about that for a little bit, but we're gonna need something more to talk about. And it's like we have dived into this head first.
And we have milked Sonic Colors as much as Sega's going to.
So is that all for Sonic Colors? Because I do have one piece of news that I don't think we've thought of yet.
So?
The IDW comic is going to be releasing a Sonic Movie 2 prequel, as they call it. Spelled like a hedgehog quill. It's so cute. But yeah, they'll be releasing a prequel comic to the next Sonic movie. And they will also be doing individual stories for the characters that will be appearing in it, such as Tails and Knuckles.
Did
that's-
they state Tails and Knuckles specifically, or did
They didn't
'cause I didn't see
state that
one.
specifically, but they said the characters that we will be seeing in Sonic 2 will probably be getting their own standalone stories as well. And it's like I can't imagine we're gonna get a comic dedicated to fucking Tom Wachowski.
Might, dude. We might. You never know.
Let me Google this to get the full press release.
Yeah, but
It's coming in April. It's coming April next year to release around the same time as the movie, and it will link the two films. Let me see here. Where is this shit?
I know what you're talking about. I did read that press release, and yet you pretty much got it spot on there. They keep it kind of vague there, and I think if it was, like, joking aside, if it was going to be like Tom Robotnik, I think they would have said Tom Robotnik. They just haven't officially
I'd be
said.
game for Robotnik, but I don't think anyone is going to buy a fucking Tom Wachowski comic.
Oh, I sure.
I like him. I think he's a good character, but it's like they're aiming this at kids, and like the kids are not going for Tom Wachowski; they're going for Sonic.
What are you talking about?
Tails
I'm
and
going for
Knuckles.
Donut Lord.
Chris, you're
That's
literally like
fucking
fucking 40 years old. Shut up. But like the press release reads as follows. Before you watch Sonic the Hedgehog 2 in theaters, discover what the Blue Blur's been up to since the end of his first movie. Is good in Green Hills for Sonic the Hedgehog. Maybe too good. He's starting to get bored, and when Sonic gets bored, things become a lot less boring for everyone else. Quicker than you can say chili dog. The fastest thing alive is saving the day and causing all sorts of chaos along the way. And Tom and Maddie help him keep his secrets now that he's gotten a taste for heroics. Plus, new and returning characters starring in Sonic the Hedgehog 2 will take the lead in stories of their own. Tentative release date estimated April 2022.
So I'm
So
just
who's
gonna.
writing it?
I don't know. IDW.
It says at the
I don't know if
bottom.
it's
No,
even
it
good.
says at the bottom there.
Oh, Gail Gallagher.
Gallagher.
Gallagher, wouldn't it be? Because it's got an N on the end.
Oh, I don't remember what it was, but yeah, I don't know if I know who that person is in terms of writing.
Let me
I need to do some
Google
research
them.
there.
Gail
So
Gallagher.
can I make a
Sonic.
prediction about this comic while Pup's looking that up? I think it's literally just going to be Sonic terrorizing an Olive Garden.
Okay.
That was a well telegraphed joke there, my friend. You should work in Sonic Team. Let's have a look. So
I'll say this, like the prequel, it just made me realize like how lucky we are. I would bet money that executives sat in a boardroom and the word sequel was certainly thrown around.
I love that.
I mean, we live in a world of squeakquels, so we might have lucked out there, guys.
Gail Gallagher has worked on the Sonic the Hedgehog Free Comic Book Day 2021, Amy's New Hobby, the Sonic 30th Anniversary Special, Dr. Eggman's Birthday.
Okay, that's good because those are incredibly pleasant. We don't have Amy's whole thing yet. We've only had preview pages, but that's a story that's going to come out with the deluxe edition.
So
The
I think
30th
that's
anniversary.
a good enough resume. Good on you, Gail Gallagher, our
Yeah.
friend. We support you.
It's going to be harmless. It's going to be whatever. But I also grew up with a lot of Sonic adaptations and Archie, which were very ever to begin with. Just like I'm just reading an advertisement for a Sonic product. I don't give a shit. But I mean, if you get somebody who gives a damn about these characters, that might be a lot of fun.
I just want
Ooh,
more.
ooh.
I just want more comics where Ian writes fucking Sonic song puns for the character speech. I know specifically you hate that, Nick, but I fucking love it.
I know you do. I know you do.
So,
You and your joy.
As if
Happy
you don't
30th
have any joy.
anniversary, Team Sonic Racing.
Also, happy late birthday to Wayne. It was his birthday yesterday. So if we can get an F in the chat for our dead friend, guys.
I'm sorry. I'm alive. I'm just I this entire time I'm just getting text messages from work about shit that's not going right, and
I was
for God's
literally
sake, it's
making
your
fun of
day.
the
Will
fact
you
that you were
just
dead
ever-
before. You're fine, dude.
not work. Okay, so everybody, Yeah, F's in the chat for shit ass. Wish him a happy birthday. And yeah.
It's okay. He's just dead now.
Thank you. I appreciate it, guys. I really do. I
How old are
appreciate
you
that.
now?
God, freaking can't get a day off here.
See the F show? Yeah.
Yeah. The
God,
return.
son of a.
Oh man, we're gonna have to get me a tombstone. I should probably let you guys know already. Just the audience in general. We haven't just figured it out yet in terms of what's gonna happen, but I'm gonna be taking a little bit of vacation, heading over to the Midwest to see some family, to record some gamecation, and we'll see what else we do. It's gonna be a good, healthy amount of time, but at least 2 of those Fridays, I might not be here. Like I might get something set up by the time I'm in Iowa, but like I think my actual anniversary shows up on one of those Fridays, and you better believe I will not be talking about Sonic the Hedgehog on that day. Oh no, wait, no, the Friday is the day before. Yeah, but that's my first day off, so I'll probably be on the road for one of them. So I'll be absent at the end of the month at the very least. I'll try not to make it more than one episode, but just to let you know,
Nick will be
because I don't put
dead.
it above these guys to just say just be like in memoriam. Like, just get me dead.
So I'm just gonna say this. Here's what's actually gonna happen. Nick's gonna wake up that day and go, I actually think I could use the Bluetooth on my phone to call into the show. That's gonna be.
Will not do that to the audio quality here.
It's gonna be.
Oh, there's
There will be no audio quality where we're going.
there's one more thing I wanted to say actually, that I only just thought of now. In the past, I made a video telling my British comrades to hold off on pre-ordering Sonic Colors Ultimate, as it appeared that the Baby Sonic keychain was not available in the UK. Good news, guys, you can now buy the launch edition at Amazon, so go forth, my colonial chums, and get your copy of Sonic Colors Ultimate with the Baby Sonic keychain.
That
Colonial chums? Like us
Don't
here
you-
in America?
don't you mean Imperial chums?
Colonizers. We colonize things.
You know, you're not wrong.
Well,
Colonial means
But like we're
people
kind of
that
known as
colonize,
the
right? Well, you're fake,
Americans.
okay?
Americans
So
are known. Oh
you-
my god.
You
Oh my
faker.
God.
So yeah. Fuck off, Nick. Yeah.
Oh man.
We're here just awkwardly bouncing off each other now. It's fine.
Yeah, we're kind of dying here, guys. I think we've run out of things to really talk about here. So you guys
I
got
blame
anything else?
Wayne. I think it's Wayne's fault.
Yeah, fuck you, shit ass. Wipe your ass.
Being a bully. I don't know why you're just straight up targeting Wayne. He's a sweet boy. For the
Because
fucking
I
eggs,
want
you
us
piece of
to
shit
have
egg ass.
brotherly nicknames. Only I can call him shit ass as well. Like, that's the rule.
Is this why you screech at me and say you fucking e-girl?
A bit like that.
You've done it on
Oh.
previous episodes.
I said yes, a bit
Oh.
like that.
It sounded like you said.
Sin-
It sounded like you said. Do I do
Serious?
that?
Think, sir, think.
So, guys, if you want to follow more of what we do on the internet, we have a plethora of garbage for you to consume. I just released another episode of Sonic Speed Reading. I'm actually going to get right back to work on the next episode here so I can get up for my patrons, because I am kind of trying to set of videos up so while I'm on vacation I can still provide content, because I'm very proud of my output of recent. But yeah, you can follow me on Game Apologists if you want to see any of my garbage. And I'd love to hear what my good, horrible friends are up to these days on their channels. Pup, what are you doing?
What the?
What the fuck just happened?
What was that?
So yeah, that's what I'm working on.
Possessed you up. Holy.
All right. Well, Pup recently put out a video I think is not getting a lot of love that I think a lot of Sonic fans would enjoy, especially this crowd. That's his take on what Sonic Unleashed Ultimate would look like. just recently released it. You also had another video pretty soon after that, haven't you, Pup?
Yeah, I did like an FMV for the fucking Dreams Come True Green Hill
I gotta
cover.
I couldn't see that because I was at work yesterday, but yeah, I'm gonna go check that out before I get back to work on editing.
Jesus.
There you go, nice.
The fucking
Darius, what are you doing?
screaming. So apparently, somebody. I talked about the last time that I'm doing more of the Anime Exposed series, but I was only able to do as much as what's on their YouTube channel. And I decided that I did not want to buy the rest of their propaganda piece to cover on my channel, and because I didn't want to give them money. Apparently one of my viewers has made the decision for me and has bought me the full DVD for Anime Exposed and sent it to my PO box. So I guess I'm going to be putting out more episodes on that now, more than I thought I was going to. So that's literal torture.
Nope, that's not literal torture. That's not what that word means.
That's
not a no.
I'm pretty certain that putting things in front of your eyeballs that make your brain hemorrhage is torture.
Zurist, don't just pay no mind to the fucking grammar police, okay?
Nick, how is this? I think this is the episode that you have sighed the most on, over and above any other episode we've had.
That's fair. Well, let's speak for Wayne because he's currently busy dealing with some work stuff here, so he is AFK at the moment.
He's probably
He's
doing
dead.
some fucking shit that no one gives a fuck about. He's I don't know, what is he doing?
So go follow him on Wayne is Boss. It's all one word. You can find him on Twitter. You can find him over on YouTube. He does a lot of wonderful, wonderful stuff.
He's got 2 projects that he's announced
killer.
so far.
Yeah, all killer, no filler. That boy does basically really good stuff. So go check out his channel. We want to kind of get him all hyped up for Metroid Month coming up real soon here.
Not only Metroid Month,
might
he's
see some of
also
us.
he's also doing
I am so sorry.
Hi Wayne, how you
There he
doing?
is.
We're speaking for you. Shut the fuck up.
Also, I'm not allowed to release this, but he did draw a picture of me fucking an egg. So hashtag release the egg fuck.
Oh my god! And Devin McCann, the one who has a PO box is me. I don't know if these other 3 have PO boxes.
What's a PO box? I've got an Amazon locker.
As PO boxes, I don't. That's got places I have people send things to, but I don't have a PO box.
You know.
Anyway, Wayne, did you want to share some of your projects?
I should be having like a review of Zelda 2 coming out in the next couple of days. Again, I think I just got the tail end of you saying Metroid Month coming out in October. So I'm working hard on getting a lot of this stuff put together. Those are kind of my main things at the moment. Yeah.
I'm gonna say how deeply disappointed you did not take advantage of Metroid Month.
Listen, October is just fitting, okay?
All right. Well, I think that's going to call it for I think we're good for the day, guys. Not a whole lot of news, but always a fun time here. So we always appreciate you spending some time with us here at Sunset City. If you want to follow us, you know how to do that. We've already explained that. I'm going to try and get more Podbean stuff done today. It turns out that editing the audio is a bit of a nightmare for some reason, and I'm going to continue to try and get that sorted out. But we'll be on there. We'll continue to improve for you. So yeah, be sure you stop by next Friday, 9 to 9:30, whenever we start Pacific time for us, and whatever the fuck imaginary times these guys live.
Noon Eastern. Ha!
Yeah,
I mean,
there's still no credit for Wayne. Oh my god! Wow, we are the
Hell yeah.
worst.
Do that yourself, Wayne, you prick.
I have established that dude, I got shit to do. I'm busy.
Oh my god. What the fuck was
All right.
that?
What was that? Oh,
Sun
I don't
is
like that
setting,
noise.
big guy. Setting real low.